Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Don't panic. I'll explain. The title is using a tool. I've been watching a set of videos. They're not all on one channel, but they comprise a set. And every now and again I drop back and watch some of these people's videos. These are channels that purport to analyse other people's channels and advise how they could improve them. Yeah? Which is something YouTube creators always have to bear in mind. So that's what this is about. The channel, this one, has to change. Why? Well, first of all, for reasons I can't find out, the number of views per video are dropping. They're not increasing and they're not static. Even my stalwart Sunday chat video is not getting the views it used to get. So it sounds to me, although it's difficult to find out, that people are leaving the channel. And the first thing I believe it could be the reason why is what I'm doing now. So this could be the last of this type of video. My regular viewers and followers, who I have to cater for, don't worry, you're not getting dropped off, like the chatty videos. Somebody coming in from outside cold who doesn't know me from Adam probably thinks, what's that silly old fool talking about? Gone. Literally. 5-second view, don't like that, off somewhere else, because there's nothing to hold them, because I waffle. So change number one is the balance between the orchidy stuff, going to shows, and the chat. And the chat has got to tip the other way. We've got to have things on the channel for people coming in cold to be interested in. And therein lies the next thing to consider. One of the videos said that you need to look at what he called outriggers, outflyers. The videos on a channel that just rocketed, and then try and work out why. So on the analytics that I've got, you can sort all of your content. You can list every video you've ever done. There's thousands of them. Have I really done that many videos? That was frightening. But I've been going quite a few years, I suppose, and I do post frequently. But anyway, one of the columns is views, and if you click on that, it will sort all of my videos into highest number of views descending. There are 2 outflyers, outriggers, that are up around 35,000 views. There's only 2. And strangely enough, one of them is a Cattleya repot, one of them is about Dendrobium nobilis. Then it drops down. So from around 35,000 it drops down to 21. It's that big a difference from those 2. And then there's only one at 21, then there's another gap, and there's a cluster around 15, 16. Dendrobium nobilis comes into the set, that little set I've talked about, which is perhaps 20 videos, 3 times. In addition to that, if you start looking at the titles, they've got words like care, how to, what to do. They're the high flyers on the channel. So they're potentially the way that new viewers can be found, is to have titles that imply, by watching this video, you are going to learn something. Not all of my videos are like that. This one isn't. What have you learned so far about orchids? Absolutely nothing. So some things have got to change. Now most of the things that will change you won't notice. Another thing that's not acceptable. When you've got a list of videos, YouTube's list of videos that you might want to watch. Big long titles, they don't even get read. Short snappy titles are what gets read. And they need to say what's going on. Otherwise, they can be classed as clickbait. If you put up a title that sounds really dramatic and exciting and somebody clicks on it and it's about something totally different, they won't ever come back because they feel conned, cheated. I don't believe I do that, but it is possible occasionally I've done it unintentionally. So we've got to think about titles, and I've been thinking about titles for some time, and I'm lazy. So we need to tighten up, is the expression I'm going to use. We need to tighten up if we wish this channel to grow. And it needs to, because looking at my latest energy bills, where else am I going to get extra income from? I'm retired now. You know, there is a fixed income. The only thing that's variable is my YouTube stuff. So we need to try and grow the channel at a better rate. This channel grows, it plods away. You know, I mean, we'll be up to 15,000 subscribers soon. I suspect 12 to 13,000 of those subscribers hardly ever visit the channel. They're people that subscribed a long time ago and have either left YouTube, don't bother, you know, they're not active viewers. It's just a number, the subscribers, but it is a way of seeing that something is happening, something is growing. And unfortunately, the statistic that used to show these are the subscribers you've gained and these are the subscribers you've lost, it don't show that anymore, it shows you the net figure. So as long as that net figure's rising, you know, you may have lost some, but you're gaining more than you're losing, sort of thing. But it was nice to know in the past that you were losing some, or not, as the case may be. So we've got to do something, we've got to do some changes. And I think the main change I need to do is be more active with the orchids. We've got to do more. Now, it's the same with my bonsai trees. I've only got 20 bonsai trees. There's only so much you can say about those trees and film. So I can't do, you know, loads of videos on my bonsai because I haven't got enough. And I can't do anything about that. You know, I mean, there's some of the UK bonsai people, they've got 800 trees in their garden. Well, you can find something to film every single day if you want to, if that's your way. But when you've only got 20, you can't. You know, if you think about it in perspective, yesterday I did a bonsai video on my coniferous bonsai. Well, that's not all of them, that's just some of them, so there weren't 20 trees. Yeah? I got more views on that very, very low volume channel, on that video, than I did on my blast from the past, yesterday's orchid video. Just to put things in perspective. So we need to do more things to do with orchids. Unbagging and unboxing is popular, but I can't keep buying new orchids. I can't keep doing that. The show season's coming up soon. I will be coming home with some new orchids. It won't be hundreds, it's going to be a few. You know, I've only got so much space for a start. The lights in here are getting me up to the full length day relatively quickly now, because the real world out there is catching me up, which is good because it means I won't need the lights anymore. As soon as we get to the point where I'm not using the lights, which will be early next month, around then, middle of next month perhaps, we will rearrange the whole place that I've talked about before, move all the shelves around. That's an interesting video, isn't it? Plonk the camera somewhere out of the way where I don't knock it over, and moving all the plants around and shuffling the, you know, shuffling things around. That's something different, so something of interest. But yeah, we're going to have to do more things to do with orchids with titles that imply you will come away at the end of this video knowing something you didn't know when you went in. Yeah, those seem to be, in the orchid world, the more popular channels and the more popular videos. There are very few, if any, other orchid channels where some silly old git stands and chats to the camera. They're not there. And there's a reason they're not there. People who have evolved with my channel, with me, over the years and everything, quite like it, put up with it, like to see Mojo wandering in and out, because you're like online friends. We've grown to know each other. I know the names. As I'm going down my comments, I know people because they've been around a long time and leave comments. That doesn't help me grow the channel. It keeps the channel going, which is essential, but we do need to try and grow this channel as well. And on that point, I'll say it again, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you're a regular viewer, I just have to ask why you haven't subscribed. It doesn't cost anything, and it does help YouTube see the channel as something that's growing, something where they can earn some money from. So that's all YouTube care about. They just want you to make money for them. You might get a little bit yourself as well, but that's all they're interested in. So channels that remain static or start going backwards, YouTube just don't put them on the list. You know, they gain nothing from it. They're only after profits after all. So, yeah, thumbnails. There was one of the channels had a go about a marketing banner. Now you could say my orange and black standard startup thumbnail with Roger's Orchids and a title, you can see it, it's recognisable. Anybody who knows my channel can see one of my videos in a big long list instantly because of that banner. That's got two things going for it. People that quite like watching my videos will see that banner and think, oh, it's one of Roger's videos. Anybody who came into my channel new with that banner heading on the front, that was then confronted by the silly old git standing talking to the camera and thought we don't want none of that, will see that banner and never come back. So a variety of thumbnails might be a better idea. That's not trying to con people, that's just playing the YouTube game. And there's an awful lot of those channels that advise, that recommend you put a lot of effort into your thumbnail because it's what picks you out from that big long list of little pictures of videos that you might want to choose one from. Yeah? Something bland in there with a nondescript title doesn't get a look in. Yeah? So we got to think about these things. And as always on my videos, I always ask you people for advice. What do you think I could do to make a difference? Those that have been around for some time, and some of these people literally go back to almost the start of when my channel started and are still here. Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And like I've said, essential to keep the channel going. But you could possibly see how it's changed over the years. I mean, certainly the environment's changed dramatically. That had to be. I had to move house, I didn't get a choice. And out of the places I looked at, I consider myself incredibly lucky to have got this, even though I can't really afford it, because this works, but I've had to change the orchids that I grow as a consequence. As the warmer growers just don't do very well here, and you know, so we've had to change what we grow. A lot of that happened naturally because a lot of what I had died. Well, I can't grow it once it's dead. I might be able to do a bit of rescue now and again, but not that. We can't resurrect from the dead, not that good. So yeah, but we need to get some changes on the go. And from my point of view, if this is my variable income, and I need it to grow, then I need to work. But there's no point me putting work in down a blind alley. If I'm going to put extra work in and extra effort, I'd like to be guided by my current viewers. You are the orchid people that watch this channel. Yeah? What directions would you like me to take? And carrying on as I am is one way, that is one choice, and then I'll plod away and grow slowly, but I won't get many new viewers, I doubt. And that's the thing I'm trying to change. I don't want to lose the viewers I've got, so we can't change the channel dramatically. Yeah? We will still have some chatty bits, but not huge videos like this one of the silly old man stood talking to the camera. We've got to get away from that being a video. It needs to be part of, incorporated within, not the start necessarily, but perhaps in there somewhere. Perhaps repotting an orchid followed by a chat. So people have already watched a fair bit of the video before they get to the beginning. Oh, I don't want to listen to that. You know, you see what I mean? But these are changes that I can do by putting some effort in and some work. But I need it to be guided so that I don't waste my time and end up changing things for the worse, if you think, you know. Some people say change is not required if it's working. In other words, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Now, it isn't broke, but I can fix it and make it better. So yes, it's not broke. You know, it's like you've got, you've got a silver cup that you got for an award for bowling or for darts or something like that. Your silver cup. You can't change the cup, can you? But you can polish it, make it look nicer. Put it in a better place where more people can see it. So little things can have a difference. And that's what we've got to try and think of. How do I get people that visit this channel, possibly for the first time, how do we get them to stay? Now, this could include non-orchid people that just are interested in the subject matter, even though they might not have orchids. They might not live in a place where they can have plants, but still like the subject. Those will be thin on the ground. Most of the people have either just got an orchid and want to find out a bit about it, and you can only do so many Phalaenopsis videos, can't you? You can't just stick to that. It's all very well saying, well, if you do a video on, you know, how to deal with your Phalaenopsis that you've just come home from the supermarket with, that'll be a good video. It's only one. It's not a whole channel, is it? So, yeah, we'll have a think. Between us, we'll have a think. And I've got Hannah coming down next weekend, which is like a second brain alongside mine that often comes in with ideas I or you good people haven't come up with. So we will have a think. But we've got to do something. We've got to do some things that will help the channel's rate of growth hopefully increase. And not, more important than any of that, and not lose the regular viewers that I've currently got. That is probably more important than anything to me. So let's have a go, see what we can do. And as I said, I did a bonsai video yesterday. It's not going to rain today. The weather people are quite confident, and looking at the sky, which is the best weather forecast you can do, there's a fair bit of blue out there and some grey, and it's not too cold. So I'm going to actually do a bit of gardening, not just pointing the camera at things in the garden. I'm actually going to go out and do something, and basically it involves a bit of planting of something that was once in here. No, it's not an orchid. But I've got a little corner that I've been meaning to do something with, and I think we'll have a go at that. So we'll get the kneeling pad out. That was a present, that was greatly appreciated, but we haven't used it this year yet because we haven't done any planting. So we'll get the kneeling pad out and get the tools out, and we'll have a go at a little area in the garden. So that'll be just plonk the camera on a tripod and you know, I'll probably film it and then add the voiceover afterwards. That's probably the easiest way to do that. But yeah, hopefully I'll get that done today as well. So yeah, have a think about this channel. It's amazing, those high performing videos. I mean, one of them was the first ever Cymbidium repot that I did. That's Hannah's plant, the one that's recently come into bloom that may or may not have a virus. That was my first ever Cymbidium repot. That was a high performer. It's incredible how many views that's got. But then in amongst that cluster of high performers, there's only one of them that's recent. And that was the misbehaving nobiles. So again, Dendrobium nobiles, and that was 2022, so that's not an old video. Nearly all of the other high performers were 2016, 17, 18, so they're old. They've been there long enough to gather the, I was going to say gather the dust, but they're obviously not gathering dust. But yeah, what we need to do is to get some recent videos, some now videos that become those high performers. I've asked for ideas for a video, and you gave me a list, and we've knocked off most of them now. Most of those have been done. There's still a couple outstanding. Those seem to go down quite well, except they're this type of video. Again, you know, it's me answering a question. The questions and answers are relatively popular, but that is still a bit more of this, isn't it? I think we need more plants, we need more things going on as a first principle, and less of this. It's laziness again. This is the easiest thing in the world to do. Well, it is for me. I know it's difficult for some, but, you know, and I enjoy it. But we need to get some high performing videos going to get those little arrows coming in from via YouTube and via other people finding the channel and growing it at a better rate than it is at the moment. It's important for the long-term future of me, this place and the orchid collection and the channel, as recent bills have actually shown. So we'll see what we can do. I mean, coffee's nearly cold, so I've obviously been waffling far too long again. So see what you can do. See what things that would change for the better, bearing in mind most of the people that are going to answer are regular viewers. Yeah? Try and think outside the box. Try and think of how you would feel about the channel if you just found it today. And if you found the channel and this was the first video you found, I'll wave now, because I probably won't ever see you again. This is not what's going to draw new people in. We need repotting, we need dividing, we need advice on feeding. We need all those things that for my regular viewers you sort of think, oh, we've done that, you know, but there's only so much you can do. A friend once said, how can you keep finding things to talk about orchids, for goodness sake? And they didn't realise just how vast the orchid world actually is, for a start. You know, they thought there was like 5 or 6 different types, and they were all the same, they were just slightly different colours, you know, they didn't know. So, but anyway, so let's see what we can do. And I don't mind putting the effort in if it's worthwhile. If I get a reward for the effort will be put in. It's not like I'm doing much else, is it? As I said, I am retired. So let's give it a go. And as I said, try and think out the box. Try and think of, you know, if you've just found a couple of videos, they might not necessarily be recent ones. They could be back in the old place. You know, a search on an expression or a phrase could take you to a video that's 4 or 5 years old. But it gets you to the channel. and then if you like what you see, you tend to subscribe, which means my new videos come up on your list of your feed, and you sort of start looking at a couple. And if after a couple you find, actually I'm not as interested as I thought I was going to be, and you unsubscribe, then I've lost a new viewer. So this is the goal, is to attract and keep new viewers. And it's not as easy as it sounds. Not in the orchid world. It's a small world compared with young people doing stupid things. Jumping off the end of the pier. People doing stupid things seem to be really popular videos. Well, I'm not going down that path. Me and water don't mix for a start. But you know what I mean. There are some of the top YouTubers that are worth millions of pounds. I've watched some of their videos and thought, what on earth are people watching this for? It's rubbish. But it isn't if it's earning that person millions, is it? They've got a following. I'm sure some people follow like sheep, but we don't want those. Yeah, anyway, that'll do. Just a waffle, but it is important. It's important to me to try and do something to get new people in. And as I said, I'll put the effort in, but I don't want to be flogging the proverbial dead horse. Let's see what we can do. Say what you think. I always ask, say what you think. And I'm always open to suggestions, as long as it's physically possible. Behave. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to a type of video that's probably going to happen very rarely from now on. This is what's got to change. It's got to become part of the channel, but less of it, because at the moment there's too much of this because it's the easy option. So you can see where I'm going, I hope, and hopefully you can follow it and follow me down that path and give me a kick up the whatnot to get me going down that path quicker, perhaps. Open to suggestions, no big boots, mind. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.